Hello guys, welcome back again to my channel. It's Bimsy Styling here again, and in today's tutorial guys, I'll be teaching you how to make a sheer corset dress with a zipper. Yes, a sheer corset dress, a complete dress this time with a zipper. So this tutorial will be splitted into parts so we can have a well-detailed tutorial and also cover all the necessary areas in making the complete dress. So we'll be starting with the pattern drafting, and then I'll also take you through the sewing process, the skirt making, the sewing process, and also attaching your yoke and your zipper. Everything will be covered in the subsequent tutorials which will come afterwards. So if this sounds like something you're interested in learning, do well to watch the tutorial from the very beginning to the end. Do not skip any part, because if you do so, you might be missing out important information which you need in making the dress. Now guys, if you are yet to subscribe to my YouTube channel, do well to hit on the subscribe button below and subscribe to my channel. And also it is important you turn on your notification bell so that when I upload other tutorials coming up next, you will be notified. Now let's get right into today's tutorial. Now for the pattern drafting, the following measurements will be used for the draft. And here I have my pattern paper already marked out. I have my lines marked out already, the neckline, the shoulder drop, and every point marked out. So what I have here is I have the chest line, I have the bust point, I have my underbust, I have the front half length, and then I have my hip line. All of these lines have been marked out on my paper already, and what you see me doing here is just trying to label the lines. On my paper, I have already marked my neck width and neck depth as well, which is 3 inches by 3 inches. That's the basic neckline. And for my shoulder drop, I use 1 inch, and then I connected it to the neck width. And so I'm sure we all know how to go about this process. So now on my pattern paper, the first thing I will do is to take my bust span divided by 2. That is my nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2. I'll take that on the bust point and also take it on my hip line. And so I'll connect with my straight ruler from the bust point to my hip line. That is my bust span divided by 2, also known as the nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2. So for my underbust tightening, I will take 0.75 towards my center front. That is me marking is 0.75, and on the other side I'll mark 2 inches. That means I have a total of 0.75 on my center front, and then I have 1.2 on the other side, so which makes it 2 inches in total. So I'll be connecting my underbust tightening to my bust span, that's my bust point. So I'll be doing this on both sides of my pattern. I'll be connecting from the underbust to the bust point with my curved ruler like so. So for this pattern, I want a slanted line for my star line. So I will go to the hip line, and then from my center front, I marked 1.5 inches. And from the 1.5 inches, I'll be connecting straight to my underbust like so. So I will connect like so. And then the next thing I will do is to check what I have as my underbust tightening, which is 2 inches. And then I will come down to the hip line and mark my 2 inches. That is from the 1.5 inches we marked initially on the hip line. I then went ahead to take my 2 inches, and I'll be connecting straight up to my underbust like so. So now on my half length, that is my waistline, I will take a 0.25 outward my dart line. I'll take 0.25 like so, and then I'll connect from that point into my underbust tightening with my curved ruler like so. I'll flip the ruler to the other side and also connect from the 0.25 into my dart leg also towards the hip line. So you see exactly what I'm doing here. So the next thing I will do is to take my corset blouse length, and for this particular sheer corset, I came down from the half length by 6 inches to mark my corset blouse length. Now the corset blouse length can range from between 4 inches to 6 inches. That is from your half length. Come down by 4 or 5 or 6 inches. This blouse length also depends on the design you are trying to create. So you need to look at the design properly, take a good look at it before taking your blouse length. So I went back to my half length and I replaced the 0.25, which was taken inward, and then on my corset blouse length I took 0.25 as well to tighten that part. So take a good look at what I am doing at this point. I am connecting from my under bust tightening into the 0.25, which I just marked, and then from that 0.25 I will take it outward of the dart leg at the blouse length. That is, I marked that outward, outside of the dart leg, that is 0.25. I hope we understand what I said there. So I connected from the blouse length to the half length and then to the under bust. So on my chest line I marked my bust divided by 4, and I added a 0.5 ease to the bust divided by 4 measurement. You can see that marking. And on my waistline, I went ahead to take my waist measurement divided by 4 and also replaced what I have as my dart intake. So go ahead to measure what you have from the 0.25 you marked into the other 0.25 and then replace it at the side. So which is what I am doing here. So I marked that and then I replaced it on the side. Now, before connecting to your bust point, go ahead and do your waist tightening, that is your snatching. So whichever you want to take out, whichever value you want to take out from your waist, this is the point where you do that. So for me, I only took out ½ inch, and that is what you see me marking here from the initial waistline which we marked rather. I went in by ½ inch, and that means for this pattern I'll be doing a total of 2 inches for my waist snatching. Waist snatching doesn't mean that you have to kill yourself. So just do what you know is good for you. So here I also went to the hip line to mark my hip divided by 4, and then I also measured what I have as my darts, that is on the blouse length, and then replaced it on the hip line. So I'll go ahead now to connect from my hip line to my snatched waists, which was taken on the waistline. So I'll go ahead to use my curved ruler to connect from the hip, like I said, to the waist. Now I'll go ahead to take my bust darts, and the difference between the front length and the back half length is what I am taking here, and I'm marking that as my bust dart. So I have 2.5 inches as the difference between the front length and the back length for this pattern. So I'll connect my 2.5 to my bust point using my straight ruler like so. So this is me just trying to retrace this so that it will be very clear for you all to see. So at this point, the next thing I would do is to go to my shoulder, and I will take my shoulder measurement, divide it into 2, and mark that point like so. With my straight ruler, I will then connect from that point to my bust point like that. Yeah. So once this is done, I will now go ahead to take my armhole. Now I will divide that into 2, going by ½ an inch, and then I'll connect it to my bust measurement on the chest line, just exactly what you all are used to. Now I would go ahead to slash open the line which I just marked from the shoulder into the bust point. So I will open up this like this, and then close up my bust dart. Yeah, I'll close up my bust dart like so to open up the slashed line. So this is me just trying to make sure I have cut through to my bust point at this point. Now once my bust dart is folded, I'll go ahead to hold it down. So I secure it down using my pin like so, and then I'll get my straight ruler so that I can through that dart. So I'll blend it in from the chest line into my waistline like that. So at this point, I decided to take another ½ inch out of my waist. Remember, we already took ½ inch when we were taking the waist measurement. We took ½ inch. So I want to take another half. So what I'm doing here is to divide my waist into 2. That is from the side into the dart. I divided that space into 2. And then from that point, I would connect from that point to my chest line and into my hip line. So I just wanted to take extra half inch out of my waist. Remember that I said you can take whatever you want. Just ensure that you are not killing yourself when you are snatching your waist. So with this now, we took out half inch from the side. Another half inch will be taken out from the pattern itself. So I'll be taking 0.25 to the left and 0.25 to the right, and then I'll connect it into my dart upward like so. So in total, I am taking out 1 inch from the front pattern. I am taking out 1 inch from the front pattern, which makes it, when you open it up, that is 2 inches. So I'll connect my dart just exactly what you're seeing me do here. I'll connect it like so from the waist into my corset blouse length. Now this dart is not getting to the hip line, it's stopping at the corset blouse length, and you can see that. So the next thing I will do here is to tighten that part again. I will tighten my corset blouse at that point. So I took 0.25 at that point, and then I'll connect it. Look at how I placed my ruler. I'll connect it into the dart we just created like so. So just carefully watch this part so that you will understand what I did here. You can also zoom in this part of the tutorial. So now I am done with that part, and then I'll go back to my overbust. So for this overbust, we will not be going through the normal regular points. What I will do here is I will ensure I go up as much as possible. You can see me, I am making the mid arm hole my center point here. So I didn't take any measurement from the chest line or any measurement from the bust point. So what I did was to get a very high point which will serve as my overbust. So on that point, I'll take 0.25 to the left and 0.25 to the right. There's a reason why we are using this method. There's a reason why we are going through this part, taking our overbust as high as this. So when we get to that point, you will understand better. So I will take this dart intake now from the overbust. I will connect it into my bust point, just exactly what we have on the screen. And remember that whenever you take your dart like this, you need to blend it through your dart so that you don't have one longer than the other. So this is what I am trying to do here. Fold in one dart leg and place it on the other one so that you can get the perfect measurements for your pattern. So this is what I am trying to do at this point. I am placing the two together, and then I will mark where I have the shortage. So I already marked that, and then I'll be extending my dart leg, which we already created initially, to that point. So this is what I have, and then I'll connect it back into the center front. I hope we get that. So I'll close up my bust dart again, and then at this point I'll go up by half inch. I'll go up by half inch, and then I would also connect it from that half inch into my waist. And another thing which I would do here is I will go in by half inch from that half inch we went up by. Do you understand what I said here? Go up by half inch and go in by half inch. The reason why we are going in by half inch is because of the bust caging which we will be using on this pattern. So when you are using your bust caging for your corset, there is a tendency that the caged cup expands, so it becomes bigger so that you don't have excess on that part. That is why we are doing this. So from the half inch which I came in, I'll connect it back into my armhole, just exactly what you see me do here. I'll connect from that point into my armhole like so. So now on my side, that's on the bust, on the blouse length rather, I'll go up by 1 inch, and then I'll connect it into my blouse length from the side into the blouse length like so. So we're almost done with the front, and this is what we have after drafting this pattern. So I get my scissors and cut out our pattern. I'll cut out all the darts which we created on this pattern as well, and I will show us the pattern piece which we have at the end of the drafting. So for this pattern, we are going to have 3 pieces. We have the center front, that is the part which I'm cutting out now, and then we also have the middle part, and then we have the side. Remember that we have another 1 inch dart, I mean half inch darts on the other side. So that makes it 3 parts. So we have the center front, the middle, and the side front for this pattern. So I'll be cutting through my dart leg, just exactly what you see here. Now for my back pattern, I already marked my lines as well. I have the chest line, and then my shoulder slope is 1 inch, 3 inches width for the neck width, and I came down by 1.5. Now on the chest line, I will take my bust divided by 4, and then get my mid armhole, go in by half inch, and I'll be connecting from my shoulder slope into my chest line like so. I'll connect it just exactly what you're seeing me do here. So on my waist, so now on my waist, I am taking half inch out of my waist for the back. So for the front, I took 1 inch, and for the back, I am taking out half inch. So what I have in total for this is 3 inches. That's 1 inch taken out from the back, and sorry, half inch taken out from the back and 1 inch taken out from the front, which makes a total of 3 inches. I went ahead to take my hip divided by 4 on the hip line, and so I would also come down from the half length by 6 inches to get my corset blouse length, just exactly what we did for the front pattern. So this is me marking it like so, and then the next thing I would do is to get my back opening for my lacing bar. So I came in by 2 inches, or I think 1.5 inches at this point. I took 1.5 inches rather, and then I marked it like so to get my back opening. So for this pattern, that part will be taken out. And then for my eyelets, I marked 2 inches. So this is me marking the 2 inches, which will serve as my eyelet stand. So I mark that point like so. So I'm trying to shade out the parts which we'll be cutting out of this pattern. So remember that we came up by half inch on the front pattern. So we also come up by half inch for the back pattern. And so this is what I am doing on the chest line. I came up by half inch and marked it. And I will then extend the line from the chest line to the half inch. And then from that half inch, I will blend it into my back. That is the eyelet part. So this is what I have after doing that. So the next thing I will do here now is to shape the hem of our blouse. So I came up here by 1 inch, just exactly what we did on the front pattern, and then I'll blend it into the corset blouse length for the back. So for the back, we are not doing too much, and as you can see, we are done working on the back, and I'll go ahead just to cut it out at this point. So I have taken out my back pattern already, and this is what we have. I labeled the up and the down part, and I also label my back pattern, the center back and the side back also. Now let's head back to our front to create our cup. Like you know, this is a sheer corset dress and is a cupped corset. So if you are familiar with me, you will know I love to do this, blend my front and my back pattern to see that they match before cutting out on my fabric. So this is exactly what I did at this point. And then I'll cut through the second dart like so before working on the cup itself. So slash it just exactly what you see here and take out the dart. So after cutting out, this is what I have for my front and my back. So I will take back the back pattern and then hold on to the front pattern. So for the front pattern, what I'll be doing is to um, attach them together back to see exactly what we have created. All of our contoured lines, all of our tightening, all of the lines will be fixed back together to see what we have created. So to do this, start up by um, joining them together at the down part. So I will match up my lines together and tape it down with my paper tape. So I just had to forward this part so I don't make it extremely long. I don't make this video extremely long. So all I was doing here is to match up my lines, as you can see, and I started from the down part of my pattern. So this is what we have inward. Get strips of paper tape, glue, tape them together, the center front and the side front, match them up together, see exactly what you have created, This is called crafting. What I am doing here is you are crafting out your cup from your pattern. So with this method, you will be able to see exactly what you're trying to create even before transferring to your fabric. This is a very important part of this tutorial, so ensure you go through this process. And when you are doing this, please be patient with yourself because it will test your patience. So be patient with yourself. So this that I am doing here was the reason why we actually did not go up by our normal regular 1.5 or 2 inches to get our overbust line. So you will see where we are adding hearts with this method. So at this point I exhausted my paper tape, so I was using sellotape here. So just get anything you can tape your patterns together with and make sure you do that. So you can see me carefully fixing this part together, and what you see here is our bustier shape coming out already. So this, you will be able to see what you have done. The shape is coming out already, and at this point you can see if you have properly contoured your pattern or you have not. At this point you will see if you are coming out with a flat pattern or not. So do this, especially for those who usually say after bust caging my cup comes out flat. Go through this method, try out this method again. So at this point I have already glued the side and the middle and the center front together. And what I did was to flip it in. So I pushed in the part that we have the paper tape so that we can work on the plain part. So the first thing I did was to mark our bust point and then also mark the under bust. You can see me marking those 2 points. So you see that the shape is already out. And so that part which I marked was the bust point. And from the bust point, because I don't want that part so down, I came up by 1 inch. 1 inch is the maximum which you can use at this point to create your bust bridge. You can either go by 1 inch from your bust point or come down by 1 inch from your bust point. So this is me marking it at this point, and you see what the cup looks like already, even without transferring to the fabric. So here you would be patient with yourself. Ensure that you craft out your cup. This method will actually show you exactly what your cup will look like. And remember that most times when we are drafting directly, when we are cutting out our cup directly, on the side front, we usually come in by 1 inch for some sizes. It depends on the size you are working on. So for this method, your cup will actually guide you. You would see the path to follow. Yes, you will see that path to follow. So you don't need to come in by 1 inch or half inch or 1.5 inch. At this point, when you have crafted your pattern properly, you will see where to come in on the side. So take your time to shape out your cup. Take your time to shape out your cup. And guys, if you have watched this tutorial to this very point and you are yet to subscribe to my channel, please do well to hit on the subscribe button, because on this channel you are going to have mind-blowing tutorials. Yes, mind-blowing tutorials that will help your journey in the fashion industry. So all I am doing here is to try to create my cup. This method I am doing here is called the cup crafting. You are crafting out your cup from your pattern. So you don't need to stress yourself too much, but you need to be patient with yourself. You will need your eraser at this point because you need a very good cup. So if you see that what you are marking is not giving, just ensure to clean out the line and then redraw it until you get the perfect cup which you want for your corset. That is when you stop cleaning. So ensure you follow through, draft out the cup, clean when necessary, shape out your cup properly until you get your desired cup. So this is what I am trying to do here. I am trying to create exactly what I want for my corset. So now let's shape out the top part of this cup. So I raised my pattern up to get the chest line. So from this chest line, you determine how covered you want that part to be. You can go up by 1.5, you can go up by 1 inch. Depends on what you are trying to create. Some persons want that part covered, but you know this is a corset dress. It cannot be so covered. So this is the point where you determine the shape. So I tried marking out the straight line from the from the pattern to get my chest line. So from that point I came up by 1 inch. I used 1 inch. You can use 1.5. This is the part where you determine the shape of your cup. Some persons want their cup pointed, so like what you have on the screen. Some persons want their cup pointed. So if this is what you want, all you need to do is to connect to the point where you want the cup to get to on the armhole and create that pointy effect. So determine the shape you want to give your cup at this point, and then craft out the cup. Once you have gotten that part, blend it into the armhole. If you are not creating a pointy cup, blend it into the armhole. But if you are creating a pointy cup, that means you will blend it upward towards the line, the overbust line we use in tightening this cup. So this is why we actually had to go up so high to get our overbust. I hope you understand it. So once you get your perfect cup for your pattern, then and you are satisfied with the result, then you can cut out your cup from your pattern. I hope you get this. You can go ahead and cut out your cup for your pattern once you are satisfied. So now go ahead and cut out what I have on the pattern paper. I'll go ahead and cut out the cup parts from the pattern paper. And after taking out my cup from the pattern, I'll go ahead and separate the piece. I'll separate all of my pattern piece. I would have them separated. And after separating them, this is what I have. This is what my cup looks like. So at this point, you can have a 2-part cup or a 3-part cup. So you go ahead and create your parts for the cup. So I'm using a 3-part at this point, and I'm just trying to figure out how I want it shaped. So you see me marking that point, and then I'll connect it into the center front. Yes, I'll connect it like so into the center front. I did not use a specific measurement. I just used my free hand to shape out my 3 parts for my cup. So you work with whatever you want, the shape you are trying to create for your cup. So this is it. And then I'll go ahead now and separate the 3 of them once I am satisfied with what I have marked out on my cup. So once you're satisfied with your cup, go ahead and cut it out one after the other. So this is me separating my cup. And once you have this cut out, please ensure you label your patterns. This is very important. Ensure that after taking out your cup, ensure that you label your cups, because if you don't label your cups, you have them mixed up and it will affect your results at the end of the day. So this is me putting my markings on the cup. I ensure I put my markings. I label them 1, 2, 3 to know which one is on which side. I give notching too once I transfer to fabric, so that I know exactly what I am working on. So this is me also labeling. That is the center front of the cup. So ensure you label properly so that you don't mix up this cup at the end of the day. So guys, I also went ahead to label my patterns. If you have watched this tutorial to this very point, please give this video a thumbs up, share with your friends, subscribe to my channel, turn on your notification so that when I upload the next tutorial, you'll be notified. So we want to work on the cup, and what I am doing here is to get the middle part of my number 2 and my number 3. So I'll divide it into 2 like so, and then you saw the way I measured that part and get the midpoint of that. So I'll make sure I mark that midpoint with my pencil. So I marked it like so. I will do the same on the other part of the cup. That's the number 3, the center front part. So once I do that, I will then place my paper, that is the cup. I'll place it on the fresh paper, just what you see here, and then tape it down. I will do the same for the other one like so. And on that midpoint, I'll go ahead and take 0.25 like so. I will mark 0.25. I'll do the same for the other cup. Whatever I do on this part is what I will do on the other side. So I'll blend it in from the 0.2 into that part. Yes, I'll blend it in upward like so. So I'll place my curve like that and blend it in. I'd also do the same thing for my other side, for the other side of the cup rather. So guys, Thank you all for watching today's tutorial. If you have gotten value watching this tutorial, please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and then I'll be uploading the sewing tutorial very soon. So I did the same on the other part, and then I will also be connecting just the same way which I did on that part. So after working on the cup, I went ahead to tape the cup back. That is our new cup, the one we just shaped. I taped it back and I marked it up into my pattern paper again. So this is what you see me doing here. So all of these that we have been doing is just to craft out our cup and to see that our cup sits properly into our corset. So there are different methods in achieving a corset dress, and so that is why you find me showing you the various method of achieving your corset dress. So whichever method you find convenient, please go ahead and make use of it. I have different corset tutorials on my channel with different methods, so whichever you find convenient, go ahead and make use of it. So thank you all for watching today's tutorial. I will see you all in my next tutorial, where I'll be showing the fabric we'll be working with and how to couple our patterns together. Bye.